Good morning, you beautiful people. Saturday morning. Thanks to a brighter day, Abram is hard at work. He's cleaning some of the bricks that ended up in the filling for us at Maureen's room. Cleaning them up, taking off the cement, and then we will be reusing them somehow. Then we also have Theophilus there in the distance. Theophilus is just taking out soil from the river bed. You can see that is mostly clay. Clay isn't the best filling, in fact. When it's mixed, when it touches water, obviously it's terrible filling. But we do have it, and so we're going to use it quite deep in the foundation where the water won't touch it. And then below that, we have this soil here that looks like this. This is almost pure building sand, except we want to really harvest from that side. The men that was building harvested here, which is obviously below my path, which I don't understand why you harvest there when you have a whole river. So we're not going to harvest sand from below there, below the path. We are going to remove the clay there and then harvest building sand from the river. So people that I really want to thank today is Sue B and Andrew Hall. So Andrew Hall helped us to employ Abram on this Sunday. He was working yesterday. He said he wanted to come work today. Him and Theophilus both said they want to work again today. Andrew Hall, you made that possible. I really appreciate that. So today we're quickly gonna turn this compost. I'm very interested to see what it's looking like now. We've been watering it daily, so it's been open daily, and we want to get some oxygen in there. And so what we're doing is we're removing the tarp, and then you can see the new compost is on this side here. This is where we've been adding new horse manure and stable waste, etc. And this is where some of the old compost is over here. And now some people ask me why why we don't use a fork to turn it. So I quickly want to see if we can find some worms as well. And the reason why we're not using a fork is because you can manage gooi. You can just put it, it's fine. The reason why we're not using a fork is because of this fine stuff, so a fork doesn't catch it as well. The other thing is somebody mentioned that the worms will double if you cut them in half. Now worms don't do that. It's an urban myth. If you cut them in half, they die. So we might lose some of the shovel. Hold on. See, there's some there. You might lose some of the shovel, but definitely not to such an extent that it will make a difference to the pile. You might cut 10 or 20 of them, but you're not going to cut 100. Nie die grond nie, los die grond hoor. Yeah. Okay, let's do this. Okay, so we're about halfway through. The fork does help much better on the fresh bedding. It actually grabs on well to the fresh horse manure with lots of grass in it. There's a couple of things that I need to mention. So we added about 10,000 worms in here not too long ago, and we still see worms, but doesn't look like I can see the 10,000 worms. So we might still get on them wherever they are hiding. So one thing. The other thing is the pile isn't as hot. We don't find the same hot spots as we found before. So there might be a problem with our layers, and there might be the balance between green and brown might be off. Horse manure on its own normally gets hot by itself. I think because there's quite a bit of charcoal in here, and because it's maybe a bit too wet, I'm not sure or maybe to dry, I'm not sure. Worms?
Yeah.
Yeah, he says there's a couple of worms here, quite a lot. There you go, there's some worms. Yeah, those are nice. Okay, so they've migrated to the fresh food here. They're in the fresh horse manure. Nice, okay. So they migrated to the fresh horse manure, quite a bit of them. And so hopefully they will find that between the charcoal and between the old compost. So this is all old compost. And the other thing I've noticed is we've got some beetles that's been laying eggs. Yeah, these ones, the bamboos, eat them. Now these grubs are very good for the compost. Just terrible if you have them in the garden. So you need to sift your compost to get them out beforehand. Now, Brenda sent me a message this morning about sorting out worms. So our guys pick them by hand. And I think what he did in his video, I haven't seen his whole video yet, is when you have a pile of worms, you scratch the surface, then they move down. You scratch the surface, they move down, and at the end of the day, all your compost is gone and you've just got worms. Now, on a big pile like this is obviously not viable to do if you're looking for worms. But there's nice sifting methods to get the worms out. The trommel is probably one of the coolest things, but you can have a table sift as well. You put the compost on and you shake it through various sizes of sifts, and you can get the worms out that way. So I think that's going to be one of our next things that we do for the composting empire, is to build a proper sift. So sometimes, at the end of the day, at the end of 2 days actually, you get out and you feel like you haven't accomplished anything. So we cleaned loads of bricks, these ones and those ones in the back, from the filling. We moved in the filling in here. We turned the compost pile, kept everything alive, but still it feels like we haven't done much. Weekend wasted almost. So the sun is setting. Weekend's over. So I'm just gonna spend a little bit of time with Brenda the cow. We actually had quite a nice thing with her earlier today. Some nice times with her earlier today as well. And gave her some stuff. And I must say, some of my favorite parts of the day is with this cow. I'm gonna call the previous owner tomorrow again quickly and just ask if we can maybe take her back and see if we can't get her covered, because it feels like, when we bought her, it feels like almost 4 months ago. He said she's 2 months away from giving birth, and we've had her, it feels like, for a while now. Still doesn't look pregnant to me. Normally when you look at an animal from the back when they're pregnant, there's at least some sort of irregularity in the bowels. I don't know, she's healthy and fat. She's definitely, I'm not sure she's pregnant. So, that's a call I'm gonna make tomorrow. See if that happens. Been doing quite a lot of worm videos. Thinking on how to make the worm farming a better idea. And been watching loads of free chicken feeding videos this weekend. Spent a lot of time watching videos, which is probably not the most productive thing to do, but it's what I did. Anywho, that is going to be the end of my story. I will see you tomorrow. Have a wonderful day.